what
Trigger
I want to
warning.
do. Ask me.
What's going on? You straight?
Nope.
Okay. How do I look?
Okay.
That's all?
Mm-hmm.
Why you not saying that? Kelly have a beautiful personality. She definitely good, genuine-hearted female.
You always got plans for you, but never give a about what nobody else got going on.
I got upset plenty of times when I was in prison, but once I seen it going a certain way, I just hang up.
You saying, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that, but none of it involves me.
Now I can't just hang up when she's mad or yelling or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So if you expected me to ask you permission to get a haircut, don't waste your time. I don't give a about none of that. You sit up here and make me wait out there for all those minutes, damn near hour. You need to be on time.
Stop pissing me the
I
off.
don't give a
Every time we have a conversation, you don't know how.
Lower your tone of voice. Why the is you yelling on right here in your ear alone?
Because you just disrespected me. You ain't see that?
Lower your tone of voice. What the are you
Stop
doing?
it. You always constantly telling me what the to do. You want me to learn how to talk to you? You learn how to talk to me. It ain't no one-way street. What the you thought? I work my ass off. I do everything that I can for you. And every time I turn around, you sit up here trying to disrespect me? Trying to tell me what the to do, when to do it, how to do it, why to do it? What are you bringing to the table? Because I am the table.
What am I
this bitch is in my name. I'm maintaining this bitch every time. Every time. Every month I'm paying the car note. Every month I'm paying the car insurance. Every month, that's me. The bills in the house, that's me. Everything is me.
Look, I don't do all this arguing. Anybody who know me, anybody that want to get to know me,
this is the
I don't
thing,
do all this.
This is the thing,
and look stupid as you're not making no sense.
Okay, say that one more time.
You sound and look stupid as you're not making no sense.
Okay, get the out. You heard what I said. Get the out.
Talking about?
Get the out and do what you want to do.
Me out of nothing.
Get the out and do what you want to do.
You can never do that.
I come to you with a decent ass conversation trying to compromise with your selfish ass. Okay. And clearly there's no compromising with someone so selfish. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop talking to your ass.
The smartest thing you could have did.
Yeah, and the smartest thing you can do is just get the away from me. Every time I turn around, it's some bull. About to lose the best thing you ever had.
Don't flatter yourself, my guy.
All right, so let's talk about that video we just watched. Okay, so first of all, here's a woman who chose a man who was in jail. Okay, now I'm not saying that brothers who go to jail don't deserve women. Okay, but when you go to jail, especially if you get a felony, it puts you in a peculiar predicament and makes you a special type of victim to certain type of women. Okay, so it puts you in a position of needing help. And because you're in a position of needing help, you're going to run into women who are willing to help you. But a lot of times when there are certain things that if a woman helps you with it, like it breaks the respect in the relationship and it breaks how they view you. And it's not all women, right? But it's a lot of women. And it's not all the time, but it's definitely most of the time. So if you are unlucky enough to get locked up, right? You catch a felony, right? You come out into this world, young black man, then it's going to change your dating options and for real dating and how women treat you. So here's a woman who could afford her own house, car, had her own stuff, can't deal with a man in the outside world. So she chose somebody who was locked up. And then when that person got out, he didn't have an off switch to get rid of her mouth. So now he's stuck with her until he can get on his feet. Now, I'd done a video earlier about a woman say, oh, well, you can't build with a man. Because if you build with a man, then he's going to leave you when he gets up. So why would this man leave when he gets up? Based off of how she talks to him, right? Based off of what she thinks his value is. Because his value is low, she says, well, you don't bring anything to the table. As if his masculinity as a protector and as a source of stability and order, right? And as a leader has no value because she's not looking for leadership from a man. You see that? So let me tell you, and this guy's definitely not taking no shit off of anybody, right? This dude isn't in prison and, you know, then coming out and then bending the knee, you know, Game of Thrones style, bending the knee to this chick. It's not happening. So their relationship is doomed. And the question is whether or not he could put up with her shit long enough to get on his feet. Now, the best thing for him to do in terms of morality would be to get rid of this woman, right? But, you know, if he's focused on trying to run his life, then he might need her and need to sit down and shut the fuck up and play the bitch. And then when he has enough going on for himself to move on and move out, then he should do that. Now, women don't like hearing men talk like that. They don't like the idea that they could be used for their resources. But far too many women are in relationships where they are there because they can't afford to leave and they know they don't want that man any longer. And women don't have any problem with that. Oh, they stack their money in the background, and then the moment that they can leave, they gone, right? So women don't have any problem with that concept when it's one way, but when it's the other way, then we need morality and character and all of these things out of men, or the man is dog shit. But women don't judge other women who are dependent on a man and need to leave, so they play their role for a little bit. They don't judge those women as harshly. So for any ladies who's watching the video, I already called out that bullshit before you hopped in my comment section. All right, so now you're dealing with another thing as well. My dog is tripping. There's a squirrel over there, and now she's pulling. Here, heel. This bitch in line. All right. So anyways, that's level number one. Is the reason this woman picked that relationship, picked a man in that scenario, was because she wanted a situation where she could have control. That's a trump card that she's been waiting to pull out. To get the fuck out is a trump card she was waiting to pull out. That wasn't an emotional decision at all. That was just a pure threat for control. She started off yelling at him. She says, well, you disrespected me. I watched the beginning of the video. Where was his disrespect? Saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to check in with you to make an appointment for my haircut. You don't do that to me. I sit and wait outside the salon for hours, and you're late for everything. So you don't respect my time in the way you're asking me to respect yours. And I'm not going to check in with you before I schedule an appointment for my basic needs. And then that was enough for her to start yelling. He never yelled, never raised his voice. And she sat up there talking about how she had been disrespected. She hadn't been disrespected. She believes that she is the head of that relationship. And when he wasn't putting up with her masculine bullshit, then she said, you're disrespecting me, because she's expecting a level of respect that as a woman, she'll never, ever, ever get from any man that's worth a fuck. A beta might sit up there and go rounds with that bitch, but a dude that, even if he ain't got his shit together, just a man that knows he's a man and he's dealing with a woman, ain't gonna fly with none of that shit. He's not playing that unless he needs to shut up and sit down so that he can put himself in position. So ladies, you put yourself in a position where your man understands that he's got to evaluate you for utility. And you don't want a man who thinks of you in terms of utility, because that's how men look at everything. You want to make it into the emotional space of that man, where his loyalty lies, where his love lies. That's where you want to make it to. And the way that you do that is by allowing his masculinity to flourish in your presence, which is what? Femininity, softness, allowing and seeking his protection, allowing and seeking his wisdom and guidance. She could have solved whatever issue she had by saying, listen, I want to talk to you about this. I was upset about it. It made me feel some type of way. And I'm asking for your leadership. How do we deal with this? How is it that we can deal with this in the future, right? What is it that you think? How should this go? And then allowing him to give his best ideas about how you guys could resolve whatever issue you're having. See, that's what it means when we talk about letting a man lead. What does that mean? Because we're not always talking about the bump in the night and the man's got to go downstairs and take the bullet. How does that manifest in your daily life when we talk about letting a man lead? Okay, The way that it manifests in your daily life is when you guys run into the problems and the trials and tribulations of a relationship, you're going to let him come up with the plan for how you guys resolve it. Now you say, well, I've been with a lot of men and I wouldn't trust them to do that. Well, you're no longer with those men, are you? So maybe the basis by which you have chosen men should include a level of character where you would trust him to be in charge of the decision making on that level in the relationship. And if that isn't something that you look for in a man, then you aren't looking for leadership. And if you're expecting men to lead you where that isn't one of the requirements that you made up front, then maybe you don't make that requirement because you don't really want to submit to a man's leadership. Maybe you don't look for it because you miss thought body, sister sweet body, and you're used to getting attention from men and you primarily evaluate money and clout and shit like that, right? So that could be the case too. So my point in all of these things is that this is fuckery and hobodashery of the highest possible order. And the reason why is because you have a woman who chose to create a situation with a man. She picked herself a prison bird because she thought she would be able to control him. She thought she could leverage the things that she has. And she found out real quick that most men, especially if they're real men, and when I say real men, I mean men of character, right? That want a family to protect and provide for, right? That exercise, that a real man is a man of character who exercises that character in the provision and protection of his family and his children. That is a real man. That's what that is. If you ever wanted a definition for it, there's the definition right there. Okay? And when you deal with a real man who knows his role, right? Because he's fulfilling that role, he wants something back for it. Because he's really about that role, he wants something back for it. And guess what he wants? Respect, submission. And when you don't do that, guess what happens? He may fight to try to get you to get in line. He may try to get you some help. But a lot of men, they just gonna put you in a sex only box. And if they're already in some form of relationship with you, they're gonna put you in the I ain't never gonna marry you box. And then y'all work together and, help each other in whatever ways y'all can. And then guess what happens when he gets his come up? Deuces. And then guess what he does? He marries a feminine woman. And guess what happened to you? You wasted 4 or 5 years of your marrying years. And guess what those 4 or 5 years mean to a man? Absolutely nothing, baby. I'm 41 years old. Look at this. Look at all this goodness right here. Girl, I ain't got no problems fighting. I'm 6 foot plus. I'm fit, quit, cut, ready to be. I ain't got no problems. I'm 41. I can wait another 5 years. So a man can waste that time of yours, right? Because you ain't right. And I'm not saying that's the right thing for men to do because I call men out when they do it. But I am telling you that you put yourselves in this situation a lot by not choosing men that you should be with and not being in a position to be with the type of man that you're going to need to be with to make it the long haul. And a lot of you girls, just simply, y'all need therapy. Y'all have been through a lot of trauma, neglect, and abuse that has been unresolved, and you manifest it in your interpersonal romantic relationships. Whew, that was a mouthful. And you're not going to have healthy relationships that are long-lasting, meaningful, healthy relationships with men that are worthy of your respect and admiration if you are manifesting your trauma into the relationship. Healthy people protect their peace. And when a person who is healthy sees that you are not, guess what? Chicken butt. No, guess he's out. That's what's going to happen. He's out. You're not going to make it. So I hope you appreciated this walk. It's a quick talk. And, you guys, man, I'm trying to put y'all up on some game before they get rid of my accounts and take my shit down. Because apparently telling y'all the truth is against the matrix. You know, the matrix has you.